Hi everyone, Josh Silverman from Constantly Calibrating here. I'm here at Phoenix Comicon with Chris Gore. So Chris, you come out pretty much every year as long as I've been coming to Phoenix Comicon. What is it about baking inside yourself in Phoenix that you've enjoyed so much over these last couple of years, a few years?
Well, first of all, it's a delightful 5-hour drive from Los Angeles where I live.
Yes.
And secondly, what I love about Phoenix Comicon is it has the feel of a small con. You know, like it feels like there's, artists here, there's people that have their booths where they make their own stuff. And so there's a lot, there's fewer of the corporate booths.
Yes.
There's more creators and artists sharing, things that they make. So it has a feel of a small con, but it's also a big con too. And the fans here are fantastic. So, and I like the evening activities.
Yeah,
they shut down the street. They did a beer garden this year that was super fun. So,
well, because it used to be we just shut down, 3rd Street, but now they're actually shutting down by the West Building as well, that whole area down. And it's kind of crazy what this is growing into, while still being a very low-key, kind of relaxed experience.
That's the thing. It's like the biggest little con in the Southwest. And by biggest, I mean like the attendance I hear is almost 100,000 now.
Yeah, I know.
Thursday sold out for the first time. So I just love it also because I've been coming to cons for years. I've been going to cons since I was a little kid, but comic conventions. But the industry's changed so much now where, just regular people want to go. When I was a kid, you were a nerd if you went.
Yeah.
Now nerds are cool.
Well, it's just part of culture. I think it's a lot of people have just realized that the term nerd, the term geek, I mean, people have been geeking out about sports for years, the people who said you couldn't be a nerd. So it's just a term essentially at this point. It's just for when you have enough passion for something, you reach nerd status.
That's true.
Kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, you can be nerdy for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. But I'm going to guess out there that there are people that nerd out. I mean, it's being obsessed with something, passionate about a thing.
My brother-in-law, who likes to poke fun at me for being into gaming and things like that, he is huge into basketball, and he'll go on a 90-minute rant about the Phoenix Suns, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. You won't let me discuss Mass Effect, but I have to listen to you talk about the Phoenix fucking Suns. But whatever. But that's the thing, is everyone enjoys their own things, and I love that aspect, and I love that our culture is kind of getting to that point that we recognize it, because you see a lot of people here that I feel like I wouldn't have seen 15 years ago, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a stigma to be a nerd or a geek anymore.
No, definitely isn't. So, okay, what are you here promoting at Phoenix Comicon this year? Because you've done a few panels, but you have your book over here, Celebrities Poop. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, the thing is I'm a writer.
Yes.
Before I started doing Attack of the Show, I was a writer, and someone just thought, hey, you write funny stuff, maybe you should be on TV. So my TV career is kind of an accident, but and I've written books. I wrote a book called The Ultimate Film Festival Survival Guide. But after G4, I put out a comedy album and book, and the book, here, I'll grab it.
Yep.
It's called Celebrities Poop, and it's basically a parody of the book Everyone Poops by Taro Gomi. And it's a page-for-page parody of the book Everyone Poops. I'll show you. The first page is, Oprah makes a big poop, Justin Bieber makes a small poop. So, and funny story actually, the book for a short time was banned from Amazon. It was shut down because Oprah's lawyers contacted me and said that, this was funny, I got in a conversation with them, and the lawyers were actually kind of cool. They said, look, we don't have a problem with the fact that there's a painting of Oprah pooping in your book. You just can't use the word Oprah in the book description. So it's a comedy album and a book. You buy the book and you get a download code for the comedy album. The album was recorded 2 years ago here at Phoenix Comicon.
Yeah.
So this is where I recorded it, and a lot of the comedy is very nerdy, I have to say. If you don't know the references, some of the jokes are not going to be funny. But I hope you enjoy it. If you like my nerdy stuff I did on Attack the Show, you're probably going to like it.
Fair enough.
But I'm working on other projects now. I'm working on relaunching my website, filmthreat.com. I'm also a writer for this website, Wayward Nerd. Wayward Nerd's a website all about geeky travel.
Sure.
Not just conventions, but going to visit places like Death Valley, where they shot scenes from the original Star Wars. Going to Griffith Park Observatory. In Griffith Park, is where the Batmobile from the 1966 Batman, that's a man-made cave that you can actually visit.
Oh, really? I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, so we visited, well, if you go to waywardnerd.com, you can read my article about going to the Bat Cave. And there are actual bats in the Bat Cave.
That's cool.
Which makes sense. Now, I have to apologize. I have convention voice. Mm-hmm. This is what happens when it's 118 degrees. It's 118 yesterday. And also, this is the last day of the con, so I barely have a voice.
Yeah, we're kind of dealing with some gravel voice thing here, which is why we're only going to keep this, not too much longer going. Right. But I actually have to thank you for something that you have no idea that you did for me.
What did I do?
So, 4 years ago, Kevin Pereira did his show Lead Up.
Right.
And at that show, I chickened out on talking to you. I hadn't started Constantly Calibrating yet. Well, no, here's the thing. I did one of those things where I'm like, Chris Gore's like, I just saw Chris Gore behind me. I should go talk to him. And you actually tweeted me back like, you should come talk to me.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you?
But at that point, I was already trying to get through the security. Right. And then I got in there with my wife, and it was just like, eh. But that was the night I came up with Constantly Calibrating. That was the night that spawned my career. A few years later, we met up very briefly. We were both, let's say, less than sober at the Geeky Awards.
Yes!
And
my God, yeah.
And I tried to talk to you, and I was, A, not entirely sober, and B, nervous as fucking hell to come talk to you or anyone else, because I still... Anyone.
But you got over it now. Look at you. We're surrounded by, I mean, I'm just a nerd, I'm nerding out that we're next to Marv Wolfman.
I know, right?
And also, across there is George Perez. Mm-hmm. Insane. We're surrounded by legends from comic books at the moment. So, it's crazy.
Well, the reason I want to thank you is because I got so pissed off at myself when I couldn't get my words out to actually speak to you at the last time we met up, that I said, fuck this. When the next time I meet Chris Gore, but the next time I go to a convention, which is this Phoenix Comicon, I'm not chickening out of talking to people. I run this site. I need to be a face of it. And now I've done a dozen interviews during this event that I usually don't do solo. I'm usually the camera guy.
Right.
And I'm having a great time. So in part, I'd like to thank you for being the jumping off point for me to realize, get some fucking confidence.
But also, you're very personable.
Thank you.
You have a good on-camera presence. It's not that hard. It's. I think the secret to just being on camera and doing stuff like you're doing right now is to not give a shit what other people think of you. If you can do that, if you can just get over that and not care, it's like having a superpower. It means you can dress the way you want, you be who you are, and you're not affected by other people's judgment.
Exactly.
And just who cares? Also, I'm a nerding out fan just like you. I'm just here to nerd out at stuff. I mean, I'll leave my booth and walk around and freak out at stuff that I see, but that's cool. I'm really glad that and look what you're doing.
It's awesome. So thank you for that, and thank you for taking the time to chat with me at Phoenix Comicon. I almost made it through. I almost made it through without a flub. I almost made it.
You're perfect.
No, thank you.
No, here's what's good about that, right? It just means you're human.
Exactly.
It means you're human. You don't want a robot, right? You don't want a robot that just reads, blah, blah, and it
I'm here with Chris Gore. Yeah. We're talking about Phoenix Comicon.
I see people on TV that act like that, where they're just an automaton, just speaking to me, I like seeing live TV when people screw up, because it tells me that's a real person. I'm with you on the same boat. So don't be afraid to screw up. Well, the last thing I'm going to say on this is just on that topic, and just jumping off really quickly. I used to work for a place that required us to write on the site for a geeky site. You just copied press releases. You did nothing, and you just were just verbatim, just matter of fact. So I briefly left my own site to work for them, and I went back and I was like, nope. So we have a rule that, we may have some spelling errors every now and again, we may make a mistake, but you know what? We're going to be passionate about what we talk about. There might be some swearing, but whatever. It shows who we are as people, and that's what I try to do with my interviews. I want them to lay back and relax and just shoot the shit with someone I respect and want to talk to. Or someone I just want to get to that kind of thing. So thank you for taking the time to chat with me. Thank you. Phoenix Comicon. As always, you can find Constantly Calibrating, constantlycalibrating.com. You can find us youtube.com/concalpod, which is probably where you're watching this, twitch.tv, all those fun places. Go check out Celebrities Poop, go check out Wayward Nerd, and I bid you good sign off.